God, I cut that off right in the wrong way. G'day, ladies and gents, and welcome back to, well, back to Battletech and Endgame. Sorry, just having to listen to the end of that track. That's Timothy Seal's remix from MechWarrior 2 soundtrack for Timberwolf. That's probably my favourite song that he ever did. It's great. Really hope he does the MechWarrior 4 Mercenary soundtrack at some point in time. Like, that's already a good soundtrack on its own, but I don't think he's ever done a remaster of that one. Alright, so I did a stream this morning, obviously. It was a little bit broken up. For those who were waiting for it to show up on YouTube, I did say at the end of the stream how YouTube was being a little bit slow. I transferred that from Twitch to YouTube as soon as the stream ended, like literally the second the stream ended. It's still processing. It has been processing the entirety of the day, and it is still yet to complete. So that's why that one's not up yet, but hopefully it will be soonish. It's it's fucking YouTube taking its time. Anyways, I wanted to finish this up. We are 2 missions away from the completion of the campaign. We have just about everything organized, and the missions are unlocked and available right now. So we might as well get right into this. Now, there are 2 missions here, 2 main missions. Once we start the first one, we're committed to the end of the campaign. We can't back out. We have to play these 2 missions in a row. They operate sort of like a flashpoint in order to be able to complete the mission. Now, depending on your settings, as a general rule, you'll get a repair in between for the mechs that you deploy. The first mission is to take the throne back, and then we finally get a crack at Victoria. So, yeah. Now, a couple of things have changed since yesterday. I should probably go through these. I've pulled a few things out and started getting them ready, so we have a few options available, because we've got 20 million in the bank, and there's no point in leaving everything in the hangar at this point. So, first thing, right before I saved and shut down the stream this morning, I noticed something. I decided to check the store, and I noticed something. There was... where did I leave it? Here. A part for a stalker floating around in there. Now, we've never managed to actually find a stalker to complete the set. I only had one part that I got out of an event. So I've completed the stalker and put it together, and I currently have it being built into a massive LRM boat. This thing's going to be armed with 2 medium lasers, 2 triple plus medium lasers. And I've also equipped it with 4 LRM 15s. At, I think the 2 center ones, which will be here and here, are triple plus, and they're single plus on the outside. I didn't have enough to stack them across the board. With 8 tons of ammunition, which is just short of 1,000 missiles, or enough for 16 full volleys out of this thing, at 60 missiles a volley. So we now have our fire support mech that I haven't had for most of the campaign. 2 missions before the end. We've just got to wait for it to get finished. Beyond that, I've pulled out one of the Highlanders, I've pulled out the Cyclops, and I pulled one of our Awesomes as well for the second line. So we now have 3 complete rows of mechs that we can switch and swap between depending on what we need. What about the longbow? You mean the Archer? The Archer is a great mech. If you can, in MechWarrior 5, if you can get the Argencore version, it is nothing short of fantastic. That doesn't exist in Battletech. Archer's a great mech, but Stalker's better. Stalker generally runs Trebuchet, is your medium. Your heavy is Catapult, and Archer is also a heavy as well. So you've got Catapult and Archer, which are 2 great support mechs. Missile pods in the arms. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Regardless, the Stalker is the better option. The Stalker's primary issue, in terms of a mech, it's 85 tons, but if you actually look at its stock weapon loadout, it has more weapons than most 100-tonners. Its biggest issue is it can be a little bit soft. It is a dedicated fire support mech. If you yank all the lasers out of it, it's generally got 4 medium lasers, 2 large lasers, 2 SRM-6s, and 2 LRM-10s in a stock loadout. So you rip all of that out, you give it 2 medium lasers just so it's got some short fire support, and then you put LRM-15s in the lot, and you fill it from nose to tail pull half of its heat sinks out because it no longer needs them anymore, and then you fill it, nose to tail with LRM rounds. Just tons of LRM rounds, which you can fit 8 tons in, which will give you 16 60-shot volleys at a target. That's enough on its own for this thing to wipe out an entire assault lance before the assault lance can get within range. And to top it off, its final modification, it has a cockpit mod. The cockpit mod is the double plus rangefinder, so it can see 100 meters further than anything else. So even without a scout, it can see the enemy and target and fire on the enemy before the enemy can see it. At 100 meters, it'll take the average assault mech 2 turns to get within visual range. This thing has already fired 120 missiles at them at that point. Yeah, it's an assault catapult. That's exactly what the Stalker is. It's an assault catapult. It's a giant walking dildo of death and doom. And if you've been watching the MechWarrior 5 streams, that's what Dead Meat drives. That's what it does. It just lobs LRMs at things until they no longer are there to lob LRMs at. It's quite a good mech. I'm quite fond of it. It's one of the more ridiculous looking mechs, but it's a pretty good mech. I'll show you the loadout on it in a little bit more detail. It doesn't have its armor tuned up or anything else either, but I've got that one floating. I'm considering using it because, that's a lot of missiles, and we haven't been using a lot of missiles. Anyways, beyond that, I've just pulled out the standard list of mechs, so we've got some spares if anything gets broken and we really need to switch and swap. I don't think we'll need to. Frankly, I think our main Lance is going to walk over these 2 missions, but that is what it is. I was thinking about doing some more secondary missions to warm up the pilots too, but the pilots we've got here, at this point, in these 2 missions, we're no longer looking to take mechs. This is, we're going into kill. So, we've already got 4 triple 10 pilots, and we've got 3 more that would have that now have access to the advanced precision shot mechanic, so they can actually get the high percentage chance for headshots, or a high percentage chance to hit anywhere they want, over 18% on any part that they target, including the head. So we don't really need to work out our pilots anymore. There's not much else we really need to do except go in, kick some ass, and bring this one to a close. So, priority mission, Commandeer.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
Let's get into the endgame.
All hands prepare for transition to thrust gravity.
Ready to go over financials whenever you are.
So, we need fire support. How many LRMs can you send? Yes. Look, you make that joke. I have, in one of my previous campaigns, managed to get 3 Stalkers together before, and I used exactly the same configuration that I've set these up on. So just pause for a moment, consider a turn where I can lob 180 missiles, not counting my command mech. So 3 Stalkers plus whatever my main pilot was driving. So you're looking at 180 LRMs a volley every single turn on any target that I wanted. You can absolutely wipe out an assault mech in a single turn without using precision shot, just raining missiles on them until they stop moving. Like, that works. It's not a particularly fair tactic, but it does work.
All hands, make ready.
3 Stalkers and a Locust. Actually, I think I was... So driving. That was one of the one where I got the 3 Stalkers was one of the campaign runs that I did where I never found an Atlas, and I obviously never found a King Crab. I think I might have just been in the SLDF Highlander. So I had the Gauss rifle and the standard Highlander config that you all know that I'm running now, because I don't really mess with that too much. It doesn't need to be. The SLDF Highlander is nothing short of a monster without so much as putting a finger on it, outside of tweaking the armor a little. And then just a pack of Stalkers and just missile fire everything until it doesn't move. Raven and 3 Stalkers sounds like a great lance. If you could get Raven in the standard campaign, yes, it absolutely would be. A Raven to use ECM and hide the 3 Stalkers, and the 3 Stalkers just lobbing missiles at anything dumb enough to actually pick them up. No, well, actually no. You'd want to keep the Stalkers at extreme range, and you'd be able to use the ECM on the Raven to pick up all the targets without it actually being detected. So it'll be able to spot everything and just make sure you got a scout pilot in the Raven, mark the target, and just missile it to death, and just rinse and repeat. Commander, ready to proceed with the current contract. Well, what else are we going to do? Let's go for it. Camille, welcome home. We haven't spoken face-to-face since your father's funeral. Actually, I think I might have just messed up. I don't know whether or not I spent enough time in orbit to actually make sure our mechs were completed, so we might not have finished the Stalker's modification in time. I don't know if it completed in transit. Strange, isn't it? For all the time we've been fighting each other, for all of our struggles, we haven't actually talked until now. That's because you're an asshole. I'm not here to talk with you, Uncle. I'm here to demand your surrender. You're here to kill him. You kill people that do this. This is you know, the French invented the guillotine for exactly this situation, and I'm still not convinced they were entirely wrong with that idea. Other ideas, when you walk away from this parley disappointed, I did teach you nothing, Camilla. The end game is a time for negotiation, not demands. No, it's not. I remember your teachings well enough, Uncle. If our peace positions were reversed, you would attack without hesitation or mercy. The founding houses have rallied behind me. You are outnumbered and outgunned. We have nowhere left to turn, and aside from a single hostage, you have nothing to negotiate with. A single hostage? He's your dearest friend. Surely he means more than you than nothing. Well, of course he does. But versus an entire empire? Alexander means a great deal to me, but I would sacrifice any one person, even myself, for the good of the Reich. Or good of the Reach. Sorry, he's the Reich, that's right. You're defeated, concede. I've heard your proposal. Now you hear mine. You'll leave this system in my hands and solidify your power elsewhere. I will commandeer, and you will hold your friend to ensure your good behavior. Why on earth would you ever think that would work? You'll agree to these terms or you will die. I will die. Your words are air, Uncle. You have nothing left to threaten. And all the posturing in the world, back and forth posturing. So you believe when you moved on Castle Nautilus. I think you're bluffing. I'm willing to wager my life on it. I'll see you on the field of battle. Suppose you will. Image on your fuse string cuts out. Espinosa must have terminated the call. That went about as I was expected. If you won't surrender, that's fine. It's his funeral. Maybe you know something we don't. His funeral. And it may be Alexander's as well, but there's nothing we can do about it now. We can't delay the attack. No, we can't. You heard my uncle's demands. He made them knowing I'd refuse. I think that he's stalling, but I don't know what for, and that worries me, so I've decided to take the option away from him. Darius, raise the founding houses on the comms. Tell them I'm ordering them to drop all of our companies, our entire fleet, everything we have. As always, I'll lead from the front. We're taking commandeer, and we're doing it now. I'll give it to her. She is brave. Hunter, I want you to remain at the ready until I call for you. Prepare your mech warriors and wait for my signal. We're going to crush what remains of my uncle's directorate. With your company's help, I will retake the throne that was stolen from me, and come hell or high water, we will rescue the Lord. I swear it on my father's name. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So much talking. Military History Visualized. Thank you very much for the subscription, mate. And welcome to the stream. I love the artwork in this. It's all concept style art. The last game that I saw that did this well was Homeworld.
You should listen to your uncle, Lady Arana. We have unfinished business, you and I. The Iberia still carries a full complement of battle mechs, plus enough firepower to level a city. And you know it's too late to withdraw your forces. When I reach Cormadir, I will drown your restoration in a sea of fire. Every dog in Arano colors will die. You took my son from me, Kamea. My hope for the future died with him.
Well, you shouldn't have told him to smuggle weapons. And then I wouldn't have had to kill him. It's funny, you put your son in a really shitty spot, knowing it's the kind of spot where you could potentially get killed. He gets killed, and then you blame somebody other than yourself. You're a fucking moron. Well, boss, things are looking pretty grim, I've got to say, but hey, at least we figured out what Espinosa's secret weapon is. Yeah, he's bringing in a warship. It's Ray Sunshine Yang. Did anyone see the wall behind Ostergaard? There were burn marks, bullet holes, what looked like small arms fire. His sailors must have tried to seize the bridge. There was a mutiny attempt on Iberia. It failed, and as unhinged as Ostergaard may have sounded, he was right. We can't withdraw our troops without the Directorate cutting them to ribbons, and we can't stop a Fortress-class dropship. At least not through conventional means. Then we'll have to be unconventional. That's right, and that's why we're going to use Locura. No way, Lady Arano. That code completely screwed us at Castle Nautilus. We nearly detonated our fuel tanks. It's too dangerous to go tinkering around with. We don't have a choice. It's the closest thing we have to a weapon that could destroy that ship. If we were wrong about this, Farah would have told us by now. Tell them, Doctor, we can do this, can't we? Yes, I think we can. Even if it doesn't destroy the Iberia, it'll cripple her for long enough to take her out of the fight. But that code is a science experiment, not a weapon. I think we can modify it into one, but there will be risks involved, and I can't offer any guarantees. There are never any guarantees in this life, Doctor. Just do your best. I can't say I'm in love with the idea. If we didn't have to do this, Ostergaard watch around. No. Do your best. Be positive. I'd imagined you'd feel that way. I'll go and get started. We're still going to need a way to get the code on the Ostergaard ship. I suggest taking over a ground-based communications array, something on the network that Iberia's computer trusts. There's a Directorate comm system in Lyris, the Throne World's second moon. It was the system's primary communications hub during my father's reign, and my uncle uses it for the same purpose now. You could use it to transmit the Locura, then destroy it. The control tower is automated, so there shouldn't be any collateral damage. You'll be killing two birds with one stone. I like how you think. I'll rig the explosives. We'll likely encounter a heavy resistance when we touch down. I'll see if I can find an engineering solution to help us deal with it. Maybe my team could seize control of their turrets, make them fight for us for a change. You should probably try and bring a jump-capable lance if you can, Commander. Comm arrays like the one on Lyris tend to be housed in elevated platforms with lots of ramps and choke points. Well, I'll be bringing a SLDF Highlander, so I think we'll be good. Thank you, Doctor. We're hanging everything else on the plan's success. It's vital that Ostergaard's attention remains fixed on me and the Restoration Army, to the exclusion of your operation on Lyris, and so I'll give him something to focus on. I'm accelerating our offensive. We're marching on the Directorate's final stronghold, Cordia City, the capital of Cromdia. If you look like you're forever extending themselves, that's good. He'll be eager to punish you for it. Give him hell, Lady Arano. We'll rendezvous with you on Cromdia when the job's done. We've got a job to do, people. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, talking done, we're going to go blow up a ship. And yes, it looks like we did rush things. The Cyclops is not ready. One of our Highlanders is not ready. And the Awesome is not ready. The Stalker is. Look at the LRM load on that. The left and right legs are basically ammunition stockpiles. Like, that's all they are. Just LRM ammo to feed the quad LRM-15 launchers. Sadly, I don't think we're going to have a spot to use it. Not this round. We're going to need the Highlander, and I'm going to need 3 assaults to be able to hold off. This is going to be more of an assault mission. So the King Crab and the 2 Atlases are actually kind of the right deal for this one. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll just go with that. So Highlander is going to be our jump mech as needed. Atlas is King Crab for strike. And our King Crab is running the triple plus AC-10s. Alright, so now I can actually catch up on chat. I can see it going on here in the middle. Why is it dark all of a sudden? The enemy, probably. Oh, damn it, Mags. I didn't even finish watching the full VOD yet. That's alright, I haven't managed to get it up on YouTube yet either. Just YouTube's being that slow at the moment. It's still processing the stream from this morning. It's just... pain in the ass. A narc beacon and 3 stalkers. You'd put the narc beacon on the Raven. The Devil Risen, 1 year, it's official. I've not been fired. Very well, well done. A Raven has tag. And it is nice to see your military history. We haven't actually chatted in ages. This style of cutscene is way underused. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, the last time I saw it done this well, using the concept art from the game, or specialized hand-drawn or hand-painted art, well, digitally painted art, for a game was the Homeworld series. And the Homeworld series, despite its age, because of the way those cutscenes are done, that game is aged to the point where you can pick it up now and it still plays perfectly like nothing's happened. And that game is well over 10 years old now. Like, even without the remastered version, it still just works. It's great. And Military History Visualized is off to finish a script. I look forward to checking that one out. I know the actor is a Battletech fan. It is, holy cow. He's both Battletech and MechWarrior 5. You'll be amazed the people that float around in some of these. Like, Battletech is a really old series. It's been around for quite some time, and there are a lot of people that are fans of it. And then new Deus Ex games, Adam Jensen. Oh, I haven't played Deus Ex in a while now. I need to finish that. I've only just started Dead, and I didn't die last time, and I'm not planning on doing it now. I did find your Stalker, though. Your Stalker's now sitting in my hangar. It's not purple, though, so suck shit. In the words of Tex, if you're going to die in an ammo explosion, you may as well be seen from orbit. Yes, words to live by. I like that. I was watching you on Twitch. Hell, my dad watched Robotech as a kid, and he's twice my age. Yeah, well, I've got the box set for Robotech sitting in the thing behind me for exactly that reason.
Command interface initiated.
Veritech F-14s. Great. Although, Macross is better, but yeah. I'm not going to get into the anime debates. I've just got the ones that I liked that I watched when I was younger. Alright, sorry about the rough landing. You okay in there? Yeah, now if I remember, Farah will be riding in my Atlas. Yeah, am I right? The rumble seat is even less comfortable than it looks like. There should be plenty of room. You're inside the head of an Atlas. There should be plenty of space for the secondary seat. Tell me about it. Did you find the care package I left in there for you? The explosives? Yes. I'll set them... You put explosives in my cockpit. This is why you just don't let engineers into the cockpit. It's just... Explosives, yes. I'll set them down on the control tower after I've uploaded Locura to the Iberia. Okay.
Let's get moving, Commander. Lady
God damn
Arano
it.
is counting on us.
Yes, we're in a 100-ton walking tank with a fission reactor on board. Let's put plastic explosives in the cockpit. This is a great idea.
Acknowledged. On my way.
Enemy detected.
Alright, so Directorate Garrison. Slept near APCs. Ah, yes, I remember this. Okay, so we have to escort... We've got 2 mission objectives here. We've got to do the control tower, but as well, if we can get these APCs undamaged to the turret controls, I think it's about 4 or 5 turns inside of the zones, they'll actually turn the turrets over and put them onto our side. If we don't destroy them. I'm brewing up a nice big shit to drop on your desk if you don't paint the Stalker appropriately. Unfortunately, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but Battletech doesn't let me do it. I can't individually paint mechs. Otherwise, I would absolutely have painted it purple. Not because you asked me to. Just because I thought it would be funny. But you can't do it.
Receiving you.
It's something I was really hoping they might improve on. in a Battletech 2
Position
if they
confirmed.
make one, and I'm still, God, I hope they do. Alright, so we got a Vindicator and an Orion, and we got a heavy laser turret behind it, heavy shredder turrets. They're all heavy turrets. Alright, well, sorry, Vindy.
Copy that.
You're about to have a really bad day because you're in my way. Yeah, we're going to have to split it up, an Atlas down each side.
Receiving.
Alright, Medusa's going to be next. Alright, so Medusa is going to go... Can I get... It's unfortunate. I can't really get into a position where I'm going to have a good aim on the Vindy to pop it. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to send
Roger.
the King Crab down the right-hand side, and we'll send the Highlander and the Atlas down the left to clear through here. We'll try with the Orion Heavy Laser Turret. We can go for the Orion. Go for the headshot, double AC-10, see whether or not we can actually get a hit. Worth the roll. Yeah. No hits. That's alright. It's okay. Oh, that's right. We have the Strike PPC carriers this time. They're on our team. I forgot we get back up in this one. A head hit already? Jesus. 41-45. Okay, so it only clipped the head. That's alright. That's not a major deal. We cannot get line of sight on any of these mechs, but if we go here, we can have Hunter give fire support on the Vindicator around the backs of the buildings, which is worth doing on the way through.
Engaging target.
CT destroyed. That's the Vindy out of the way. So now we can just focus on the Orion, hiding behind the giant blast shield up here.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Actually, thinking about it, we should have brought the Stalker. Ah, shit. I think I might have screwed that up. That would have been our chance to use it. This would be really useful. I forgot about these blast barricades. The Stalker could just sit there and rain missiles on top of it, because terrain, once you've got LRMs in the air, and they've got visuals on targets, terrain blockages like this do not apply. The missiles will go around them. So we could just rain shit on that Orion all day. Ah well. It is what it is.
I'm going.
Well, LRM's on the Orion anyway. Give him a little bit of support.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
Tell, hello, I got a horse in Weird West. Now I'm hunting bounties because the damn
Reporting. Minimal
$300
damage.
fee for the decryption. Yep, that's the start of the game. It doesn't take long. When you go back into town, you pick up the first 3 bounties. That covers the horse and will cover about half the cost of the decryption. And in the process of doing that, you should get enough treasure maps to complete the decryption by the time you make it back to town to hand in the bounties. So this part's pretty straightforward. Actually, if we complete this, I might even stream Weird West afterwards. It's another good game that came out. Devolver's on a roll too. Everybody heard they announced a new Monkey Island, made by the original game designer, but Devolver Digital is the publisher. And Disney now owns LucasArts, so it looks like Lucas has resurrected Lucasfilm Games. Catapult, stop shooting my Sleipnirs.
Waiting for orders.
And I believe, I do believe,
Coordinates received.
that it was announced that they're doing an Indiana Jones game as well. Because apparently, Lucas still owns the rights to the Indiana Jones, at least from the game side of things. He may not own the rights to the films.
Roger that.
Alright, that should keep the Orion somewhat out of play.
Good.
I need to work it out. I'm sure you can figure out a way to mod. I don't think that's an option in any mod that I've seen. I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong, though. I'd like to actually have some custom paint jobs. The custom paints were actually one of my biggest issues with Battletech. Because the game itself has... we're just not going to be able to hit. Alright, we're going to do a sprint to catch up in the King Crab. Yeah, the game itself is using the same models that MechWarrior 5 and MechWarrior Online is using. At about the same detail level as well, so that's fine. And yet, we don't have any of the custom paint options that are available in those games. It's fancy that the PPC carrier can actually hit from there. Oh yeah, he's rattled. He missed all of those. Yeah, so the painting options on the mech and the ability to actually put together a custom... Yeah, I like customization options like that. I like the ability to paint, and something like Battletech, especially based on the tabletop, should really have custom unit painters. You should be able to do really high detail painting for your individual mechs, just like you can with your tabletop miniatures. But yeah, the one they put in was kind of... It's meh. Just meh. Alright, so we can slap this Jenner.
Engaging target.
Oh yeah, he's having a bad day.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
If only had some sort of briefing, with intel on your target. Yeah. Similar problem to MechWarrior 5 there. At the very least, most of the bullshit talking and the drama is out of mission in those cutscenes. And, if I was playing through this on my own, I'd just skip through them all.
Damage minimal.
But unlike MechWarrior 5, where all that is played out while you're trying to shoot people,
I await your command.
that's a little annoying. But still... we are not going to be able to...
Firing jump jet.
get that catapult this round. That's as far as I can get. Sprinting's not going to get me any further. But I can crossfire the Orion
Roger
with
that.
the LRMs, and the next turn, the catapult is going to have a terrible day. CT destroyed? Nice.
Tango down.
Military games need to give you more intel than they do.
Rumble seats are a bad idea.
Basic maps, recon, photos at least. The funny thing is, if you go back, this is kind of the reason why I've been doing the retro replay stuff. And yes, I will be getting MechWarrior 4. MechWarrior 4's next video will be up on Friday, and I'll be back to streaming that again soon enough.
A tickle.
But part of the reason why I'm doing the retro replay stuff, it's not just for the nostalgia of playing old games, although I'll be perfectly honest, I'm loving the nostalgia of playing these old games, but it's also pay attention to the games. Yes, the UI is not as clean or as advanced as you see in a modern game. The resolutions are nowhere near the same.
Minimal damage.
Graphically, they're not up to standard. A lot of these games are over 20 years old. Should not be surprising to anyone. But look at what you get in those options. MechWarrior 4, Mercenaries. You're given a full mission briefing with a map of the terrain before you're deployed into battle.
Powering down enemy turrets, Commander. Give us a moment and we'll rewrite their targeting protocol.
We got to keep them safe. You get the option to... Sorry, just making sure this catapult just doesn't eat through my armor. That should be fine. You get the option to select your drop zone. There's usually 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, depending on the map. Locations you can actually put the lance down, so you make that choice. You can configure your unit before the mission both pilot configuration and what mechs you're going to take in, based on what you see on the map and the briefing you get, which will include markers for the locations of potential enemy units, as well as your waypoints to navigate through the map. This wasn't unique. MechWarrior 4 Vengeance had this. It was in both the mech commanders. This goes all the way back to MechWarrior 2. You got a detailed briefing with a basic layout about how everything worked. And then you get to MechWarrior 5 and Battletech, and while I absolutely love Battletech, both games forgot that that was a thing. And this is not uncommon for modern games to forget that the mission briefings existed. It's yeah, and it's not just these. There is a shitload of games that have this issue, where you should have at least something, but there's nothing. With the Orion and the with those two down, best bet is actually going to be to take the Atlas through. So we probably don't want to take it through too far. I'll just move the Atlas up a little bit, and we get a nice LRM volley in on the Jenner, so the Jenner doesn't give us too much of an issue.
Got it.
See if we can kill it as fast as possible. There, CT destroyed. Nice. The LRM volleys are doing well. This is actually probably giving me a bit of punishment for not bringing the Stalker. I feel bad about that.
Orders.
Let's move.
Double time. Let's go.
King Crab up. Now we think we're going to see another Lance drop in soon. I think. That's something that SWAT still has, ready or not, the ability to choose an insert point. Yeah, and this should be common on this type of game. And as I said, it's not like something that this series hasn't done before. Both the Battletech focused games, which have been Mech Commander previously, and all of the MechWarrior games had this as default. This was a core element of the game. And this is, as I said, part of the reason why I'm doing the retro replays, because I've come to realize that a lot of these games are older than a lot of the people that are actually viewing my content. They've never seen these games with them before, so they've never realized that, yes, graphically, these games are not as advanced as some of the stuff we have today, not by a long shot, and they shouldn't be. I mean, if they were, I'd be like, holy shit, how did the developers do that in the past, or what the hell are the developers doing today? Pixel art games get a pass, obviously. But just the thought that went into the design, a lot of it just isn't there anymore, even with those that are trying to make the right game. The developers here were clearly trying to make a kick-ass Battletech game, but there is just a few fundamentals that they just forgot, or for some reason decided that they weren't important when they were important.
Acknowledge.
Yeah, you didn't need that missile pod anyway, did you?
Ooh, that hit something good.
Stuttering, good evening. I'll be semi-lurking, but hope your campaign goes well. Well, we've got 2 missions, and we're past the point of no return now, so one way or another, I suspect in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half,
Ready for orders.
we'll have a note. We'll know how that one's been. We're not gonna. No, I'm gonna keep Decker on this side, and then just brace him over here for the moment. I don't think he needs to be involved. We don't need any more mechs on this side for the catapult, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure a Lance is about to drop.
Yes, Commander. I'll do what I can.
I'm not sure if there's a trigger for it, or those PPC carriers are so slow.
Full throttle.
I think they must think of it as a difficulty thing that you can't prep if you're more likely to struggle. Yeah, but that's a stupid way of thinking of things. Like, it's quite entirely possible. I'm not saying it's not, that's what they're thinking, but it is a stupid way of thinking of things. Because whenever you're developing a tactics game or a strategy game, it's a tactics game or a strategy game. Both of these imply you having enough time to be able to set up. or at least have some thought on how things are going. If your difficulty level requires your player in a tactics game or a strategy game to be unable to form good tactics or strategy because they don't have enough information, then you fucked up the way you've designed your game. Like, that's... You've fundamentally missed the point in the first place.
Welcome to my alpha.
And
This
that's the
just
catapult. No
critical
longer
hit.
really an issue. Missiles taken off both sides. Maybe it's just laziness. Yeah, I said it could be as well. It could be... Well, maybe not laziness. I wouldn't say the developers here are lazy. And I wouldn't say a lot of developers that do miss these kind of things are lazy.
Commander?
Thoughtlessness, if that makes sense. Like, just a lack of thought into the fundamentals of their game. They have the concept. They know what they're trying to do. But they're so focused on, like, maybe one element of the game or getting certain elements of the game right that they miss some things. How would I describe it with this?
Moving
Like,
to
I could
position.
see a situation where the developers of Battletech, being as that these were original FASA guys that created the tabletop, that were part of Harebrained that put this together, I could see them being so focused on trying to do a good translation of the tabletop into a PC game, which they've done. This is fantastic. I have no complaints about Battletech in terms of its gameplay at all. This is... You know, I get my ass kicked by RNG every now and again, but that's par for the course. But I have no complaints about how they've done the game at all. But it's possible they were so focused on getting the tabletop translated to a PC game right that they overlooked that it wasn't a tabletop game. That it is in fact a PC game.
Waiting for
And
orders.
so because it's a PC game, there's going to be a few extra things you might want, such as detailed briefings, options for drop locations, a look at the map before you actually go in.
I copy.
This catapult is just
Reporting critical
taking
hit.
a beating. Yeah, just because that is something that wouldn't exist in the tabletop, because it doesn't need to. Because when you're playing the tabletop game, you don't need to see the map before you deploy. The tabletop you're playing on is the map. Well, in comes the strike PPC carrier to just lay the smackdown. Done. Alpha turrets are ours, Commander. Bravo turrets belong to us, so we got all the turrets. Nice. But yeah, like, the map that you're playing on is the map. The briefing is something that you and the player you're playing against would, like most tabletops, would generally be going over while you're in the process of, you know, setting up the models and making sure everything is all, you know, organized for the match to make the match play smoothly. These are all things that would be, that you wouldn't need in a tabletop because
Roger.
they're kind of automatically part of the tabletop. So yeah, I could absolutely see the developers being so focused on the game side of things that they miss that. That sounds silly, but you'd be surprised
Location
how
confirmed.
often that happens. Just something obvious missed or overlooked. Maybe it's just them not hiring enough people with enough experience, but clearly having talent. Well, that is the other side of things too. And again, this goes back to part of the
Yes,
reason for
Commander.
the retro replays, playing through older games. A lot of new games developers, like people that have talent that are entering the
Jumping.
gaming world or the games development world now, aren't as old as these games. Like, it's 2022. I hate using the current year thing, but it's 2022. So consider for a moment a person who has completed a 4-year degree in Australia in games design was born in 2000. MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries that I'm playing at the moment was released in 2002. They were 2 years old when that game was released. You can have a university qualified graduate this year that was born in the year 2000 that had never spent any time in the 90s whatsoever. So every single game prior to probably, let's be honest about this. Nobody really pays attention to anything in gaming until you're probably in your very, very early, like your pre-teens to about 13 sort of an area. You're not really paying attention to mechanics at this point. So basically any game released before about, let's say 2010 to 2013, the mechanics in that, all the thought or design process within that, unless the person has been interested enough to go back and actually look through, and this actually looks like a dead end. Oh no, there's a ramp there. Okay, there is a ramp there. Cool. Anything released prior to that
Location confirmed.
doesn't exist to a lot of these game designers, so they don't. It's not just that they might not be experienced. They may never have seen anything like it in any games before, because nothing since then has really been getting these type of games, unless you've been playing something really specific, like a simulator. Simulators have always had briefings.
Standing by.
Usually. Actually, I take that back. Not always.
On the move.
Now, Hunter has to get into the circle, and I believe that should start triggering the upload.
I'm walking here.
Alright, I'm inside. Should take me a few minutes to find the array's control center, hook up the drive, and prep the system to transmit the Locura to the Iberia.
And on that note, I'm going radio silent for a bit. I need to concentrate while I work on this. I'll be in touch soon.
That's fine. Do your thing.
Commander, be advised. I'm seeing heavy activity on all Directorate comm channels. You're about to have company.
Okay, so getting to the tower was the trigger. I knew there was another lance coming in. You guys better hurry up or you're going to get stomped on. Oh, drop in the middle of town. Alright. Probably shouldn't have put the king crab quite up there. Ooh, and they got our backs. Alright, I put that wrong. Like Mag said, give the old devs current and developing technologies, how good a game would they make? Yeah, it's a bit of a mindset and just a bit of a thought process. Again, I don't want to take back what I said, because I do believe in it, but I don't think current devs it would be impossible for them to really produce some of the labors of love we've seen in the past, with all the thought that goes into them. There's a whole bunch of new factors in it. Gaming becoming popular is actually part of the problem in this regard, because once it became popular, it became corporate, and once it became corporate, now you're trying to please people outside of fan bases or outside of gamers themselves. You're trying to please, shareholders and shit, which that causes issues. Archer, Thunderbolt, K2 Catapult, yeah, they can die. I really want to get rid of the Archer. So there are other factors that need to be taken into play as well. But yeah, it's more of a case of somebody with them, not so much an old developer, but somebody with the mindset of that. Just, I want to make something that's a pure passion project, and I want this to be as good as it can be. And we have seen some. They do pop up every now and again. The indie space is where you find most of them. And the games are often fantastic. Some of the best games I've played in recent times are indie or at least very small developers. Let's see if we can No. Oh, we did hit the head. Alright, so the second burst hit the head. Alright, we need to keep rattling that Archer. I want those LRMs out of play, because they could be a pain in the ass. And it's something that DCS and Armor have taught me. A good brief is worth a lot. Yeah, it should be a thing in strategy games. Like another one that misses it is XCOM, the XCOM series. Now that's one where having a fully detailed map might actually genuinely lessen the difficulty level. But having a bit more of a briefing on what potential threats could be in a zone than what you're actually presented with, I think would be an improvement. But again, another game I haven't played in a while. The last time I tried to play XCOM, it actually bugged out on me. I should have sprinted. That Atlas is never going to get back into this fight. It bugged out when I was taking out the Chosen. I think I got the third Chosen just about down, and it broke on the mission somehow. On the mission where I was trying to kill the third one,
Commander?
and I couldn't recover it. Unrecoverable failure or corruption on the save, which sucked. But I do like that as well. Apparently, Micropose, one of Micropose's developers, is currently working, or they announced not too long ago, they are actually hiring. Yeah, we'll do a sprint to close in. They announced that they're actually hiring new games developers, and what they showed for what they're developing at the moment, like, don't quote me, I'm making a guess based on what I saw, but it looked like a Jagged Alliance style game. And that would fit what Micropose has actually been up to in their game selection as well. So, fingers crossed. Jagged Alliance 2 was fantastic. A modern Jagged Alliance would be great. I'll say this: they hire people who fail to do their history, are doomed to repeat it. Yeah, well, this is. God, that Archer's having a bad day. The advantage of having the turret control. Yeah, it's to the point now, like, the gaming industry is straight up the single largest entertainment medium in the world now. It's surpassed Hollywood. Gaming as a whole makes more money than virtually anything else. It is now to the point, if you think about it, at that kind of exposure level and that kind of money floating around, we have courses now, which when I was going to go to university, I was looking for something like this. They didn't exist. We now have university courses focused entirely on, and other tertiary education courses, focused entirely on games development. These did not exist 20 years ago. They just straight up didn't exist. I can tell you they didn't exist because I was looking for them. I wanted to do this for a living. Now, that's what I wanted to see. Come on, finish her off. Break her. Alright, fall down at the very least. There you go. That'll do the job. We'll get you in the next round. We have the courses now to teach new developers for it, but what we haven't seen show up yet, and it does show up in regards to movies, is there are entire courses based around film history. Film and television, like television history. The history of the medium, the different types of movies and the genres that were done. There are entire courses built around this. I have not seen any kinds of courses or any kinds of tertiary education focused on the history of games development, games genres. Who made them? How did they make them? What were the mindsets behind them? How were they concepted? What was the development? How were they coded? This should be something that should be floating around, looking and breaking down games. But the only place you see anything like it is independently created videos on YouTube by people like me or whoever. They just don't exist otherwise. But they should absolutely be a thing, just simply because of the size of the genre. Because while, yes, modern games are flashier and on significantly higher budgets, there are things you can learn from older titles. A lot you can learn from an older title. Let's see if we can crack this thing's cockpit.
Taking the shot.
No. It's a shame. Yeah, I was also thinking of XCOM would be an interesting thing to have an Intel level degrade as the invasion progresses. Yeah, well that's just it. That's a smart point. You can turn Intel into a whole mechanic. It's not just a way of giving you better information. You can quite easily set the game up so that Intel comes at a cost. You have to spend a resource of some kind in order to be able to get that Intel. It's not just handed to you. In some cases it might be. In other cases you might have to, yeah, I don't know, there could be a resource. You could have to put units at risk in order to be able to gain access to particular pieces of information. And then it becomes a risk-reward because a resource might be scarce. Do you spend that resource now? Or do you hold on to it in the case that you might need it in a future mission? If the resource is actual units that can be killed within the game, like actual like recon operatives or something, like just used to use XCOM for an example, you have your XCOM soldiers, but if you had dedicated like recon units that could recon an area prior to the deployment of your troops, but those the recons have a chance that they could be killed, and you only have a certain amount of them. Well, now you've got to start deciding, do you really need this here or not? And all of a sudden, you've just put in a game mechanic that reflects the tactical nature of the game and gives the player a choice, and it becomes more interesting.
Standing by.
What do you risk? Is it worth it? Which is the whole point of these type of games.
Acknowledged.
And once you've got something like that, then you can expand out and potentially go even further. Now that's line of sight blocked. Thunderbolt hasn't really got a huge amount of firepower. That Orion. Oh, if we could get that Orion, although that is, yeah, let's. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do a general attack. Oh, although that's blocked as well. That's the only one. The Thunderbolt's the only mech we've got a direct line of sight to. Alright, well, I guess we'll have a crack at the Thunderbolt then. Roll high on the gauze. We hit the head. Would be nice to see a remake and a remaster of MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries. I would actually go further than that, Grievous. My preference would be, we've got 2 years of Piranha holding, and the turret takes out the... Okay, that was the right choice then. The turret takes out the Archer. We've got 2 more years of Piranha having the MechWarrior IP. And I don't think they're going to do anything with it. They seem to have put the entire game into basically maintenance mode at this point. The patch notes that were released like last month there was nothing in them. There's no signs outside of a couple of maps and a couple of units and a whole bunch of sales to milk the IP. There's nothing else. We've got that all future developments for MechWarrior 5 have been cancelled. It was indicated a while ago that there may have been another DLC in development, but future DLC developments have been cancelled. Well, that's since been confirmed. We now know that, yes, there is one more DLC coming. We do know that it has the Hatchetman in it. We don't know the nature of the story that's involved, but we are getting one more DLC. That's good. But after that, they have said they've canned it all, and all of the resources from MechWarrior 5 are being, outside of just maintaining the game, have been ducted off to other projects, which is Lord of the Rings Online, which is being rushed to coincide with the release of the TV show. So, okay, fair enough. And we've got 2 years they're going to hold the license for at this point. Nothing much we can do about it from there. After that, the license, if it's not paid, which it likely won't be, at least that is the estimate most people have at this point. There doesn't seem the new owners of Piranha have any interest in it. It's likely going to revert back to Microsoft. And then it comes down to what Microsoft does. So my hope is that it goes to a developer that has a bit of that passion for the game in the past. Microsoft's got a huge number of developers under their belt at the moment. An absolute shit ton of fantastic developers that they've purchased. And at the moment, they own every single mech IP from the 90s. The Activision Blizzard merger, they own everything now. They own the Heavy Gear series, which was owned by Activision. They now own all of the Earthsiege series, which was made actually off of the concept of MechWarrior series. It spawned out of it by one of the MechWarrior 2 development teams, I believe. So they own that now. Microsoft owns a lot. I'm hoping somebody there really likes the series and decides that they want to do MechWarrior right. If they can make a MechWarrior 6, and they can make a MechWarrior 6 that is done really well, I would actually petition for them to do something like the Halo Master Chief Collection. Same game engine as MechWarrior 6, remake every single MechWarrior game going back to MechWarrior 2 in it. So MechWarrior 2, Ghost Bear's Legacy, MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries, MechWarrior 3, the Pirates Moon expansion pack, MechWarrior 4 Vengeance, MechWarrior 4 Black Knight, and MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries. Maybe even remake MechWarrior 5 done right inside of the same thing as well. Do the entire game inside of the new engine as a Master Chief style collection.
Yeah.
I would petition for that. That would be my thing. Sorry for going on a big
No
interlude
shooting,
there, but
just running. Got it.
that's what I would want to do. We desperately need history courses in these things. Yeah, I think we should have. I'm actually, honestly, frankly surprised we sort of already don't. There's so much money floating around in games development, yet nobody wants to sort of pause and realize, well, I was about to say something the movie industry realized years ago. However, I think the movie industry has forgotten it recently as well. That it's one thing to have people buy your product, but they tend to want to buy your product if they really like your product. If you're not selling them shit, it does actually tend to generate more sales. So having a good design, not just of the mechanics of designing a game, but I guess the philosophy of game design, and which ties into story writing and a whole bunch of other areas as well.
Waiting for orders.
And the history of it, then I honestly think there would be something there. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens in the future there. The Catapult K2. How am I going to get shots on you? Actually, what am I talking about? How am I going to get shots on you? It's a freaking Highlander. Let's just jump into the street straight in front of them and shoot them in the face. Haha! Surprise! Which one can I hit you better with? Yeah, you.
Confirmed.
That work broke one of its
I think I hit
PPCs.
something good.
Alright, good night, Grievous. Have a good one. Well, there is a modding community around MechWarrior 5. Yeah, there is a little bit of one, but the game isn't, like, super... It's not bad with mods, but it's mainly a side effect of it being Unreal Engine. It's not super with it. It's good enough that we are going to get a MechWarrior Living Legends 2 in it. And I think honestly, I think that's going to be the legacy of MechWarrior 5 in the long run. It's not going to have... all of this running back, and this is almost over, and we have yet to actually make... Actually, I'm just going to leave that Atlas there. I'm just going to brace and park. There's no point. This is going to be over by the time I get that Atlas back into position. Yeah, but I think that's going to be the legacy for MechWarrior 5, is it'll turn into MechWarrior Living Legends, and if the developers for Living Legends can do a good job of it, which I fully expect that they can, because they did a fantastic job with Living Legends, and you're going to have a lot of people that are looking for something to do with MechWarrior Online, sort of going the way of the dinosaur at the moment. that will be... If you're into MechWarrior or you're into Battletech, you're going to have
On my
Living
way.
Legends 2 in MechWarrior 5 installed on your PC. I think that's just what it's going to be. Let's... probably... yeah, let's just finish. That should be enough to finish the catapult. There it is.
Enemy down.
Yes, I agree, something similar to a Master Chief Collection, but for MechWarrior, hell yeah, 100% ID support from me too. Anyways, good night, catch you all. Yeah, good night, mate.
Aye, aye.
Alright. Well, we've got plenty of points here, so let's just go and see whether or not we can get an execution kill on the head.
Got it.
Get some SRMs in from the looks. And the strike is still running up. We've kept enough fire on these mechs. They have not killed the PPC carriers. Oh, and that's a big hit from the rear. And that's a knockdown, so that's going to be another pilot injury. Do they have more than 3 health? Yes, apparently they do. Okay.
They will be done.
Alright, let's just go stand on it. Oh, really? Not enough? Yeah, not going to bother bringing Hunter down. He can just stay parked there, because somebody's going to destroy that tower once we've completed this point. Oh, we have more mechs. Uh-oh. And Hunter's isolated. What do we got? Jenna, Banshee, Jägermech. Jägermech, what's the last one? Battlemaster. Oh, it's not too bad. Banshee's kind of pants. Battlemaster's okay.
Good to go.
Alright. We can get direct line of sight from
Heading
here.
out.
Ooh, that's going to push it over the top. We'll pull the SRM-6s. Yeah, we really need to shut down round 2 mediums and the AC-20. Yeah, we still need to hit the Jägermech though.
Engaging target.
We'll cycle the Atlas out in the next round.
Standing by.
Medusa, just kill it. Thank you. Alright, Highlander can jump up on and start engaging. Here, looks like the Shrike in 1 or 2 turns will be in position. Now, since they really aren't teaching entertainment history, you could be a history buff in any of these fields with a decent amount of influence. You're ahead of the curve and in a position to conquer the industry. I don't know about that. Ideally, somebody... I have an interest, but I'm nothing more than an amateur in it. Much like I'm an amateur with actual history. I don't know everything. I've got a strong interest. Ideally, if you want somebody who's going to teach this on any kind of major level, you really want somebody who's actually done the job. Ideally, you would want, I guess, one of the old school games developers. That's who you'd be after. Somebody who's worked in it, who's been inside of the teams, who's actually done the process to put together some of these games. That's who you would really want to teach this kind of stuff. Somebody who's actually been there. Like, in the end, I've been doing the YouTube thing for a long time, and I've spoken to a lot of developers for a lot of different titles, and I've spoken to artists, and I've spoken to programmers for various games. It's been sort of my privilege to be lucky to do that, just simply because some people like the videos that I make. But any of the internal workings of a games development studio that I've ever seen, it's always been the internal...
down, Commander.
Damn it. It's always been the internal workings that I've been allowed to see from that position. Then the nitty-gritties, and like anything, any kind of conversation in that way is always a marketing element to it. So anything that I've been allowed to see will always be the spit-shined version of it. You never get to see the core. And that's, if you're going to teach game history, that is something that needs to be covered as well. Not just the marketing side of things. The realities of it. For the moment, I'm happy with just doing retro replay type stuff. I've contemplated going slightly further with retro replays, and rather than just doing playthroughs of the games, which is what I'm doing at the moment, actually doing like modern game reviews on old games. Breaking down the games for their element. But there's few others that have done this and do this.
Confirmed.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Take that.
Nice. Right, that's the Jaeger-mech out of play. Get rid of the Jenner, and then we've only got the Battlemaster and the Battlemaster and the the Banshee left to go. I'll go head-to-head with the Battlemaster with Hunter's Atlas. Oh, that Jenner's not going to take much more of that. Commander, I've touched down, but we've got a problem. I have a squadron of Directorate aerospace fighters on radar, and they're heading our way. Damn it, we need to clear out of here before they arrive. How much time have we got? Not much. They're carrying enough hardware to blow our Leopard to hell and back. I can do this. Just keep the Directorate off me, Commander. I need a few more minutes. I can do that. An interesting source would be the Looking Glass Studios podcast. MIT interviewed with the Looking Glass team. Yeah, that would be a good one. Especially Sims and Sim Lights. Most of those breakdowns are on more mainstream stuff. Yeah, they do tend to be, because that tends to be what's more popular to watch.
Standing by.
But, yeah, you're right. That's part of the reason why I've considered it. It's just more of a... Yeah.
What do you need?
It's one of those things I'm just not sure I have time for anymore. I'd love to have more time, but I'm just not sure that I do.
Move order received.
Alright, let's go. Screw it, we'll just go for the headshot, see if we can get it.
Confirmed.
Not with shot like that, we won't. Jesus.
Receiving you.
Yeah, for the moment, I figure my part will just be, you know, play some older games. Maybe some people will tune in to watch. Unfortunately, probably not as many will tune into something that's much and significantly newer, but... that is what it is. Banshee hasn't had its turn yet.
Warning. Armor low.
Yeah, for the moment in that particular area, really, you're right with the Looking Glass podcast, and another one is Renegade HPG, is a Battletech podcast. that goes into the tabletop and is regularly talking with various developers, artists, and so on from the original design and early development phase of the Battletech tabletop, and occasionally like people that worked on the cartoon, the 90s cartoon, and some of the video games as well. Looking at podcasts and stuff like that is really the only place we'll find that for the moment, I think. But yeah, as I said, we'll see what the future holds. Like, whichever way we look at it, the gaming industry is not going anywhere. I know you'll regularly see people going, "Hey, let's hope," hoping for a crash, and maybe that'll fix the industry. It won't, and there won't be a crash. Not in the way that people think of it anyway. There's just simply too much money and too much investment into the industry now to crash like it did back in the 80s.
Engaging target.
There will be crashes, but it'll be like the crash of the early 2010s. There was a video game crash in there that nobody talks about. Sales dropped, and there was a whole bunch, but the industry itself didn't really reset or change all that much as a result of it. They're just moments when it dips. And that's all they'll be now. Same as Hollywood. No matter what you can really do, you're not going to collapse Hollywood anymore. I'm sorry to say, Disney is not going to die.
I'm ready.
They'll dip, and then something will happen and they'll recover. That's just the way it works. Mags, you and people like you could be a games consultant in charge of a AAA company. Exorbitant fees after they make a killing with sales. Well, the only way that works is if somebody wants to hire me, and yeah, I'm starting my own business because finding anybody to hire me has been an issue in the past. It'd be nice. That'd be a job I'd love to do, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't think so. Well, there's a huge brain drain in entertainment right now. This is entirely true. Yeah, while I would love to toot my own horn for it, unfortunately I'm
Orders?
far more, I don't know, pragmatic, realistic, take your pick.
Roger that.
I'm good at talking it, and I can run through the logic of it, but I doubt anyone would be interested in hiring me for it. Alright, let's smash this Battlemaster. And you miss with the AC-20. Oh, I suppose you did break the
That hit something
SRM6,
good.
so I'll give you something for that.
Commander.
In the end, it's one of those things where they're sort of looking for university qualifications, and I don't have the relevant ones that people are looking for.
Roger that.
I draw pretty pictures, write independent stories, and read and research a lot, even on things that other
that
people just
taste.
don't find interesting. And that's always been my thing. I do think there's a remote possibility of a true crash. I think most companies are fairly close margins. Okay, so that's a different thing.
Armor low.
Do I think there is potential that we could see a major games developer or a major games publisher, somebody like EA, crash? An individual company? Yes. The market as a whole? No. I don't think so. Particularly, my evidence for that on its own is Microsoft. Microsoft makes enough money outside of gaming to be able to float its entire gaming industry, but its gaming industry is one of the large, well, it's not one, well, it is one of the largest, but I think it's like 3 or 4 in total for the world. It has enough money outside of its own industry to float any dip, to be able to weather it and utilize the dip to come out on top. It's potential we could see a company go tits up, and I think we almost did. I think that's entirely why Microsoft wound up buying Activision Blizzard. You know, a few years ago, that would have been unthinkable. But it happened. And I think that's why it happened, because I think with all the bad press in regards to all the internal workings at Blizzard, the fact that everybody hated Buddy Dickhead in charge, their games weren't selling as well. Their major titles were failing in the market. Like, they were still making huge sales, but not enough to cover their costs or to hit any of their primary targets. They were not making the money that their shareholders required. And on the Blizzard side of things, its biggest IP, World of Warcraft, has tanked over the last 2 expansions. I think they were very, very, very close to crashing. I think they were on the verge of going tits up, and that's precisely why Microsoft was able to scoop them up. I think that's what allowed for that entire situation. And I think it's entirely possible we could see another major games company go up. But the market as a whole, the industry as a whole, it'll dip, but I don't think we'll ever see a full-on collapse like we did. Like, Sony's got exactly the same thing. Sony's another major player in the market. And Sony, while it has a huge gaming industry, has a lot of stuff outside of gaming as well. So if anything, if it does dip and gaming becomes an issue, Sony's fully capable of essentially floating itself from its other areas, its hardware sales, for example.
Firing all weapons.
I'm not sure what this Banshee's doing other than just standing here at the moment. It's not attempting to move, it's not attempting to fight. It's just getting the crap kicked out of it. Now the turrets are having a go. There we go. Yeah, it did nothing. It got dropped off by a dropship and then didn't move an inch. Yeah, holding the base is not going to be an issue. We have 2 rounds remaining. The only thing they have left is a Jenner.
Ready for orders.
I may have brought more firepower to the party than was required.
Roger.
There we go. Jenner's down. That pilot gave up on life. Yeah, I think he saw 2 Atlases, an SLDF Highlander, and a King Crab, and went, fuck.
Attention, forces of the Urano Restoration. This is Commodore Samuel Ostergaard, formerly of the Concord Navy. As of today, I no longer serve my country. I come to you as a grieving father, not a Taurian sailor. My actions are my own. In 3 minutes' time, my ship will enter weapons range of your position. At that time, your lives will come to an abrupt end. I suggest you pray to whatever gods you...
Oh, I think somebody just had a minor computer issue. Maybe you should try turning it on and off again. Or off and on again, rather. 1 round's remaining, and there's why didn't it just skip this? There's nothing left for us to shoot. We've wiped out the entire enemy team a turn early. I guess we bring Hunter's Atlas back this way so he can shoot the tower.
Affirmative.
Highlander can easily get down. King Crab's a little bit slow. I might actually keep the King Crab back here a little bit.
Move into position.
I actually can't remember when we destroy this if we just get an immediate mission end or whether or not we're going to have to pull out. We're out of time. Those fighters are almost within weapons range. I need to come get you now. Remote trigger armed, explosives primed. I'm ready. Meet me at the evac point and we'll get the hell out of here.
Mission successful.
Auto ends. Okay, cool. There's too many people with vision and desire to make games that will keep pumping out indie games, but AAA might tank quite a bit. Yeah, AAA is where the tanking will happen. Indie will just keep going. Indie will just do its thing, and you'll get in. I know this is counterintuitive, but you'll get indie publishers like reformed Micropose that is dealing entirely with small independent developers and just bringing them together and providing with a publishing platform that's small, and they make good games that aren't necessarily chasing the highest graphics, but are chasing really good gameplay, you'll get stuff like that, and that will be what tips through. And to be frank, as I said, that's where most of the good games are coming from at the moment anyway. The really good games are coming from the independent side. They're coming from you small, or you really, if not independent, you AA, or sub teams coming out of AAA. Have a look at all the failures we've had in recent years. So MechWarrior, or actually probably MechWarrior 5 is a bad example here. Battlefield 2042. Huge Battlefield release. Trash. Shit game. Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They managed to fuck up Vikings. How? How can you fuck up Vikings? But somehow they managed to pull that off. There's a list. Cyberpunk 2077. I liked Cyberpunk 2077, but I'm not going to turn around and tell anybody that it wasn't a rough launch, particularly around the console side, and they didn't do the dirty when it come to some of the early reviews to keep the things up. And I can understand why some people are pissed off with it. I like the game. I like the fact that they're continuing to work on it. But if you were in a position like I was, where I had a computer with a 3080 that was running brand new hardware, you had a good time with 2077 on release. If you had some dated gear, you didn't. You didn't have a good time. And there's a list of other failures as well. Alright, Jaegermech. Well, we can take the Jaegermech part. Why not? Yeah, we take the Thunderbolt part as well. That's 2 mechs recovered. Actually, what have we got in spares? There might actually be some decent weapons here. Double plus PPC, 4 accuracy. That'll be nice. Nope. All crap. Sadly, no. Alright, so we get 2 parts remaining. I guess I could take a Jenner as well. I mean, I don't need any of these. Like, this is it. I guess I can sell everything at the end and see exactly how much money I've got. Just keep my 4 main mechs and just see how this comes out. Alright, so we made 21 million C-bills on that, all salvage included. And I think we get a cutscene now. When you come flying at a planet and your engines accidentally turn off, not good. Suck shit, arsehole. Revenge killed you. So rough, the PlayStation saw... Yeah, unpersoned it. Yeah, that was the PlayStation version. I can forgive, and I think the hatred for the PC release was a little overblown. I can see some people being a little annoyed, particularly if you had older hardware, but it wasn't as bad as some people made out. Although, then again, I had new hardware, so maybe that was just my experience. I only had a couple of minor bugs and nothing too major across the board. The game was just not quite what I was expecting it to be, but I still really enjoyed it. That's why I've completed it twice. I should play through it again at some point. People on the PlayStation saw, particularly PS4, yeah, they had a reason to be pissed off. That thing was unplayable. I've seen video clips of the release version of PS4, PS4 Cyberpunk 2077, and it didn't work. So, yeah. And that's, yeah, that shit's not on. All that dropship is toast. Yeah, it's a damn shame too, because those are really rare. But, it's one way to go out. If you're going to go out with a bang, that is a way to do it. I'm not sure if you're into hunting, but check out what I just ran into in general gaming. I'll have to look at that after the stream, man. But yeah. I don't mind hunting games. I don't get to hunt here all that often, but I don't mind hunting games. I just haven't played one in a while. Liberia. I'll get the tongue working here. Liberia is gone, Uncle. Ostergaard can't help you, and you have no more cards to play. For the good of the people, you must end this. Order your troops to stand down. Our people, this is what has always been about. You knew, had you only listened to me, I would never have taken your throne. I didn't desire power for its own sake. Yes, you did. My only care was for the Reach and its prosperity and its enduring glory. No, you cared about your glory. And yet you reach that glory on the backs of our people. This thing you've built isn't who we are. Your directorate has fallen, Uncle. Clinging to it will not help the Reach. Nothing will help the Reach, not anymore. This war has doomed us all. The realm bleeds, Kamina. We're weaker now than we've ever been, and soon enough the sharks will begin to circle. Background, Innisphere Mercenary. I've spent time in the Innisphere, Espinonia. I know how this game is played, but right now, at this moment, all that matters is you and us. I'm sure that in your eyes that is true, but mark my words, the Reach is doomed. When the knives fall on the realm we both love, you won't be able to protect it, Kamina. Nobody will. That's the problem for another day. Truth is the matter. Blah, 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 blah. Will you surrender and save the lives of your soldiers? As I said, niece, this was never about me. Commodore is yours. Yeah, hang him. Victoria Espinosa. No, father, you cannot do this. The Reach depends on the Directorate for survival, for glory. You told me yourself that if we fall, the realm will die. The Directorate has already fallen, Victoria. We've lost. Continuing to fight would only cost more lives. Costs lives, costs lives. You ordered me to kill 11,000 people on Perdrian, and now you care about bloodshed? This is an ocean of blood on my hands, father. I spilled it because you told me it was necessary. Then you're a dumb idiot. And it was, but our gambit has failed. It's over, Victoria. I know how hard it is for you to accept, but you must stand down. No, father, you may have gone craven, but I'm a mech warrior. I will die before I concede defeat. You want this world, Kamita? Come and fight me for it. Your lance against mine at attorney grounds. The contest that was denied us, you and me, to the death for the Reach. Aren't you tired of death yet, cousin? Was the Perdian massacre not enough for you? I did that for the Reach, for our people. It was my responsibility. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, just keep running out the excuses. I'm going to blow your fucking head off. But you don't understand, and you never will. And so, to make things easy for you, you don't have to understand why I've done the things I've done. You only need to face me in the arena, where I will best you, as I always have, as I train to. You'll give me what I want, or your dear Alexander will pay the price. My father was too weak to kill him, but I am not. Accept my challenge, Kamina. Accept it, or I will grind him to a pulp under my battlemech's foot. I almost pity you. You'll have your fight, Victoria, and yours will be the last blood that I spill in this war. Prepare, Mech Warriors Hunter. We face my cousin in the arena. I want your company by my side. Wouldn't miss it for the world. See you when your lance makes planetfall. Let's bring this war to a close. And the final mission.
That mech is ready to fight, Commander.
And like father, like son, red paste. Yep. Also, love this guy's motivation. Oh no, that isn't the consequence of my son's actions that killed him. Better get myself killed for my own actions too. What a hoot. Oh, it's more fun than that. Because his son was running the guns at his order. So it wasn't just his son's own actions. He ordered his son to perform those actions. So he killed his son, then he killed himself and everybody on his dropship trying to get revenge for the son that he killed.
That mech you wanted is back online.
And we don't get to touch anything here. So, we have no choice but to take Kamina in her Atlas 2, which isn't an issue except for one small thing. Unfortunately, her Atlas 2 is stock. Now, the Atlas 2 is a fantastic piece of kit, but at the moment, hers, because it is in stock configuration, has less armor than my standard Atlas. And it's the reward. We get this as the reward for this mission. We have an Atlas and we have our Highlander. Yeah, we have to take Decker into the final mission. It has to be Decker in the final mission. It's just unfortunate that I don't have another Atlas. Because 4 Atlases on the final mission is another thing that I've never actually done. So 390. I could swap out for the King Crab, but the Highlander's better. Yet another come at me, bro. Yeah, you think they would learn, like after the first 6 or 7 times that I wipe out an entire force on my own, that maybe going come at me, bro, against my lance is just... It's not a smart thing, but they never figure it out. Yeah, dun dun dun. And yeah, after this, well, not tonight. I'm going to have to take a little while to get the mods set up and tested and make sure it's functioning, but we'll be on to the mods, which means with Battletech Extended, we will be going for the clans next.
Command interface initiated.
The clans are fine. They're less talkative. Computer, incoming transmission. Victoria, I need you to listen to me. The Directorate has fallen. Our armies have been routed even as we speak. The Restoration forces are closing in on Cordia City. If you kill your cousin now, the entire Reach will fall into anarchy. And if Kamina wins, the Reach is doomed anyway. You've been telling me that for years now. Was it all a lie, Father? Yeah, of course it was. Victoria, this is not the time for debate. You will attend my words and obey me as you always have. I order you to stand down for the Reach. The Directorate is the Reach, Father. I will never stop fighting for it. Wallow in your cowardice. I will win this war in spite of you. She cut the line. You're going to have to put her in the ground, Lady Arano. She's too far gone for it to end any other way. She's insane. She killed 11,000 people because somebody told her it was the right thing to do. That is her choice, then so be it. If I'll do whatever I must to save Lord Madeira. Fall on me, mech warriors. We have more wrongs to right. Okay, so finally we're done with the talking. Now we can get on to the killing. Because I have been waiting a while to kill this one. This one's always good. Now she has got a mech upgrade too, for those who haven't seen this mission before as well. Because she did previously drive around in the Catapult K2, and we kind of scrapped that mech. Funnily enough, on the mission where Dickhead in the dropship's son got smeared. So yeah, we scrapped that mech and then we recovered it, salvaged it, and sold it. Because of course we did.
I'm moving out. I've got a sensor trace.
If I go...
I'm your spaniel.
Alright, and this should light up the first target. So we got a 70 tonner, and it is a cataphract. Can we jump? Yeah, we got a direct line there.
Jumping.
Nice. That'll work. Took you long enough, Kamina. There it is. There's her upgrade. She has a king crab. I was beginning to wonder if you'd turn tail and run. It wouldn't have been the first time. I'm here for you, Victoria, and Justice of House Arano. Blah, 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 blah. Long-winded exchanges. I do like the lighting on this mission. It's kind of ominous. You zoom in on the mechs. They're all just lit up with the headlights. Everything's sort of a bit, you know, foggy and smoky and terrible. I assume that's the dust kicked up by a dropship that pancaked.
Commander?
Now, we're actually not going to get a shot with the Highlander, which kind of sucks. Rough terrain. We do not want the rough terrain. We actually want to stay out here. We haven't actually got a lot of cover we can use either. Do one small step forward.
Position confirmed.
Get me in a position to hit Cataphract.
Roger that.
Which we missed. But we got the pilot's head, that's alright. Because we're going to be going for a sniper shot on it in a second.
Losing armor.
Tell me what you need.
Alright. We want
Waiting for
Archangel next.
Acknowledged.
Precision strike. Go for the head again. Gauss rifle and
Locked
LRM-20s.
and loaded. Here it comes.
Nice. Thank you. First mech down.
Tango down.
Oh, I love it when that works.
Come closer, dear cousin. Come closer.
And there were 3. Whew, that was a big hit.
Not much armor left in that location.
Yeah, that's 2 AC-20s. There's no real way to get around that, unfortunately. That's just the way it's going to be. Because that is a king crab. And that is what king crabs do. And they're taking the water, so we're going to have to push in on the water as well. Otherwise, they'll have the heat loading advantage. Alright, so I'm going to go for the Jaeger mech next.
Engaging target.
Usually your best bet with this mission is to straight up nuke the fire support she's got. And then focus the hell out of the king crab. Oh, we're gonna have to backdeck her out of there. That Atlas has taken a licking.
Reporting. Major armor loss.
You have my attention.
Alright, Atlas 2. And Kamina, I really hope you've improved your skills from last time, because I remember your shots were shit.
I'm on it.
That'll do. That'll do. I'll take that.
Hostile unit for the Oregon people.
Don't lose Decker in the last mission. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'll be backing Decker off. Where is... Yeah, Senate... Oh, shit.
Waiting for orders.
Give Decker some side. Looks like he's been taking most of those hits to the center torso. But all his armor's still there. He hasn't failed yet. He's not exposed. God, look at the weapons loadout on that king crab. Triple plus AC-20. Triple plus flamer. Triple plus flamer. 4 medium pulse lasers. Triple plus AC-20. 2 more triple plus flamers. Now I know why I couldn't find any triple plus A20 AC-20s. This bitch took them all.
Copy that.
Well, at least something hit, I guess.
Send your lancemates to me, Kamea. And watch.
Shit. That's the left arm. Alright.
Reading you loud and clear.
that. Right, we will shirt front her. What? Yeah, right. She has not got her maxed out skills. That's alright. Just do damage. Hit everything. Oh, and that friggin' awesome as the LRM variant. Because of course it is. And it's going to keep focusing Decker, so I've got to... Yeah.
Engaging target. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Yes, Commander. Moving to position. Punching all the buttons.
Sync double destroyed.
The Cobra strikes.
Alright, Decker. If I go right there, I've got broken line of sight, so I don't have to worry about Decker taking any more hits from the King Crab.
Target confirmed.
And any further hits should go into that left arm. He might lose the left arm on the Atlas.
Fire and steel.
Oh no, you're going to go around and... No, no, that's alright. You're going for the Atlas too. That's cool.
Okay, my engines can't handle this heat.
Those
I'm
are
ready.
some big, big, big flamers. How much head armor does she have left? Not much. Alright, in that case, let's go for that torso that's already opened up there and blow something open. There we go.
Ooh, that hit something good.
They're stripping armor off of my mech.
Well, if you knew how to build your mech properly, you wouldn't be having this
You have
issue.
my attention.
We
Ready
need
to
to
fight.
restart. I need to get you into the water. Point blank range with my Atlas. Now, about that whole mech of yours there, which only has 2 flamers left now, because we've just blown out all of its weapons.
All weapons committed.
Mwah. Yeah, that's right. All of it for nothing. It was always for nothing, Victoria. The Directorate was never going to return the glory that your father promised. I know, cousin, I know. Our father lied to us. There's no future for us in the Reach. You're a hero of nothing, nothing at all.
I'm sorry, Victoria. You left me no choice. But
Don't
make
be
no
sorry.
mistake.
Don't be sorry.
Justice has been served here today.
Yeah, don't be sorry. Bitch
I
deserved
am
it.
the Sword of Restoration. And Cormadir is free.
Too much talking. Pat yourself on the back once we finish killing everybody. when there's things that can't pull your mech
My
to
mech
pieces.
is losing internal structure.
Alright.
Engaging target.
Let's just go straight through the guts of this awesome. LRM ammo destroyed.
Enemy mech. Critical damage.
Damn it, we didn't get a cook-off. That sucks.
They will be done.
Jump and turn. Get us a little bit further than just walking, and we'll do exactly the same thing. Precision strike, straight to the center torso with the Gauss rifle. Game over. We win. And Decker survived.
Mission successful.
Finally. Face Lady Victoria Espinosa in a duel to the death. Success. Recover the Lord. Yeah. Da. All done. We made 4 million on that one, and for all that, Decker didn't get a kill on the final mission. Archangel took the last 2. Have to say the outlaws in Weird West are quite interesting. Here comes famous bounty hunter with a bounty in tow. Better try and rob her. Well, they're Wild West outlaws. Nobody said that was smart. 1 part for the cataphract. That was a nice shot, that one. We just straight took its head off. Well, it doesn't really matter what we grab here at all, does it? Ah. None of Kamina's, well, not that we would be using them anyway, but none of Kamina's triple plus gear actually survived. Not a single one of them. We must have melted the entire lot. Alright, we'll take all the Cataphract parts. We'll take the Jaegermech parts. What do we get? It's odd, I'm getting a doubles up with a whole bunch of achievements here that I know I've unlocked before.
And I wanted it back. Not for the people of the Reach, but because it was mine. I wanted war, for all the wrong reasons. But on Weldry, I traded that naivete for nobler purpose. Seeing my people suffering with my own eyes taught me why I must fight. On Artru, I found humility. Blinded by righteousness, I was reckless in my pursuit of power, and it almost cost us the war. On Guldra, I learned to steel my heart. I chose necessity over conscience. A choice that nearly broke me. Finally, on Coromidere, the world of my birth, I found resolve. And standing over my cousin's broken body, victory. Only through these lessons, paid for in blood, did I become a ruler worthy of title. A high lady prepared to sit the Cormorant throne, the protector of Coromidere, the sword of restoration. But this question still plagues me. Am I a hero? Did I sacrifice too much at the altar of victory? Do my triumphs outweigh my mistakes? War is a clash between conscience and necessity. An ocean of chaos and bloody compromise. War shapes history. And history chooses its heroes. As for you, mercenary, You made the liberation of the Oregon Reach a reality. Every trial I've faced would have been my last without your skill on the battlefield. I still don't know if you fought for honor, or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just my money. But whether it was your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you believe it, because others do. As I believed in the heroes of my father's stories. After all, when we are gone,
a very rich
stories
hero.
are what remain.
That's the most important part. Yes, that is the most important part. I mean, killing Victoria was fun. I enjoyed that last mission, just smearing her all over the place. But, yeah, otherwise, no, just the money. And the development team and credits. Bloody good game, this one. For all the little faults I nitpick around it every now and again, like what we were discussing before, they are nitpicks. Yeah, give the man his atlas. Yes. Well, as much as rolling through all of this is great, the credits are listed in other places, so we're just going to hit escape to exit. In orbit. Rune, Darius, Samaya, Yang, Farah. Though your courage, skill and sacrifice, the Reach has been saved and I have reclaimed my throne. Without any one of you, our campaign would have ended in tragedy. I can never adequately repay you for the service to the Reach. You're a great dead as well. Without your company's help, I would be dead. I consider it a great honor to call you my friends. Friendship never entered into the equation, Lord Madeira. Our client gave us a job to do, and we delivered. I respect your honesty, Commander Lohir. A mercenary to the end. Damn right. It's a new era for the Reach, and we have your company to thank for it. The Directorate has fallen, Victoria is dead, and my uncle is in chains. You'll give him a show trial, I imagine. I'd appreciate an invitation. You should have let me kill him. You get a show trial, I imagine. I appreciate an invitation. Now, I don't care too much about the guy who took over the throne. Just Victoria. There will be no trial, at least not in the Reach. Alexander gave me a better alternative. Don't worry, though. My uncle will receive a taste of justice soon enough. Consider it in my curiosity, Victor. What did you do to him? We've handed him over to Protector Thomas Cauldron to be trialed as the mastermind of the Perdian massacre. His war crimes tribunal is being assembled as we speak. The Turians were quite appreciative of the gesture. I'm sure they were. That's the last we'll hear of Director Espinosa. He brought this fate upon himself. I'm afraid that our time is growing short, Hunter, but I have a great deal of work to do if we're going to recover from this war. But if you have any final questions before we move on to the subject of your pay, I'll be happy to hear them. Before we talk money, I'd like to hear what's next for the restoration. No, I don't really care. The subject of our pay, as it happens, I think there's nothing I'd rather talk about. Very good, Hunter. You've certainly earned it. For your exemplary work on both on and off the battlefield, your financial debts are now forgiven. I thought they already were, but fair enough. Those were the terms of our arrangement, but you deserve a little more than that, I think. From this moment forward, the Argo is yours. I relinquish her to your control, like you ever had the option to take her from me. You may consider her a bonus for a job well done, and as a second token of my appreciation is on your way to your mechway now, Hunter. Please accept it with my compliments. Thank you, Kamina. We'll put a gift to good use. No reason to not be polite about it. Good, and with that, Hunter, I'm afraid I must return to the matters of state. My people need me, and I must go back to helping where I can. You'll always be remembered as friends of the Reach, every one of you. See you again someday, I'm sure. I'd like that. Until then, I bid you a very fond farewell. And that's it. I guess that's it. Our contract with Lady Arano is over. The Argo is ours, and we'll be free to do whatever we please. Man, it feels weird saying that. We can do whatever we want. We're not beholden to anybody. It's a pretty sweet feeling, I've got to say. So who else wants to find some new trouble to get into? Peacetime is beautiful and all, but it's starting to feel a little stale in here. What if fate throws their way? Sounds like a challenge to me. And this, once you've completed this, it essentially opens up open play. So now we can go anywhere, we can do whatever we want. And we have our Atlas 2.
That mech you asked for is cleared for fighting. That mech you wanted is back online.
Okay, so, mech bay. Now what do we got? The Cataphract can go into storage. Actually, we'll restore a whole bunch of these at the moment. Actually, it looks like the Highlanders and stuff were never put back together with weapons in them in the first place. Oh well, no big deal. I pulled them out for no reason. Now I'm going to do a massive sell-off before we finish up here, so I'm just going to leave the core mechs together. Because I want to see exactly how we were doing money-wise. So everything here is the mechs that I consider we will be keeping. We'll do a repair. And that's Decker's Atlas. Alright, so that's our core mechs that we'd keep operating. And that is the Atlas 2. So, in terms of build, we're an AC-20. Yeah, the AC-20, ER large laser in the opposing arm, LRM-20, LRM-6, and lots of heat sinks with a couple of double heat sinks. Now, you can see why I criticize the Atlas 2 stock build. It has double heat sinks in the arms, the most vulnerable part of the mech. It also has ammunition in the torsos. And it doesn't have its armor anywhere near maxed out. So, it's a great mech, but it needs to basically have its guts ripped out and be completely reconfigured. So apparently, if someone throws dynamite at you, you can shoot it to change its direction. Yes, you absolutely can tell. That's absolutely something you can do in Weird West. I've done that a couple of times. Yeah, the Atlas 2 stock is a bit... who authorized this? Because I want to make sure they get a nice long bath in hydrochloric acid. Yeah, it's... all the things that you wouldn't care to lose are in spots that you would be quite happy... Yeah, it's not the weapons loadout, it's just the loadout. The configuration is kind of crap, so... Like, if I was just to do some improvements on it, first things first. Yank those heat sinks out. Double heat sinks. Now we do need 3. We'll put the medium pulses in the arms. That gets another heat sink inbound. Keep 1 present. That double heatsink we won't need. Heat efficiency is still ridiculously high, just so you can see up there at the moment. Now, just to move things for a moment, actually, we'd put the heatsinks. Move the heatsinks up to there. And that lets us get the ammo down into the legs. And this is already looking better. That's already looking better. We've saved a little bit of weight. Let's max out the torso. There we go. So we've now maxed out the armor across the mech. Now, honestly, I'd yank the LRM. Go for double SRM6s. What's the weapons load? 100 rounds. So yeah, 3 tons of SRM ammo. Now the AC-20 we're going to need additional ammo for. And we want to split that. So I'd go 2 extra tons of AC-20 ammo in the opposing leg. That brings us up to 89. Shift the double heatsink out of the center into the other side so I can move the medium pulse back into the center. Leave the ER large lasers in the arms. I'm missing something. What was our per shot count on the AC-20? Yeah, we go an extra ton of AC-20. It's only 5 rounds per ton. So that gives us 25 shots on the AC-20. I don't think we have a double higher ranked AC-20. No, we don't. So we'd have to stick with that. So that brings us up to 90. Now we go to equipment. Just on parts that I've got here at the moment, we definitely want a cockpit mod. Now, since we've pulled some of the remaining heat sinks in it, what we'd actually want to do... How many slots do they take? A heat bank would be better. 2 slots. It's 4 slots on the single plus heat bank. Yeah, I'd throw the heat bank in. And then weapons-wise... Go 2 more medium lasers. So we're on 93 tons here at the moment, and I've just about got a functioning mech. I could go further and just max out the armor. Oh. Damn it, it doesn't quite fit. I could make that fit, though. Just put 2 AC-20s in the torso. Yeah, you can mess around with it. Oh, hang on. Of course, wait a second. That's why. It's an Ultra AC-20. No, we definitely want to leave that one back in there. Ultra AC-20 on 92. We don't really... 14 tons. I don't really want to carry any more internal ammo. But the only thing I really use to finish out the weight on this thing is actually to... Actually, I can do that. Pull the meads. There we go. So there's a reconfigured Atlas. All the armor's maxed out. We've rejigged the heat. Its heat efficiency is a little bit lower than it was before, but it's still higher than most assault mechs. It's got 2 ER large lasers, 1 enhanced, basically 2 large lasers, 2 medium pulse, an Ultra AC-20, and double SRM6s. Firepower rating is completely off the charts. Max damage in an Alpha Strike, 604. Yeah, 604 on an Alpha Strike. Which is nuts. That's straight kill an assault mech going through the center torso. And you'd be on that load with that heat efficiency as well, you would get... I'd actually probably throw the heat sinks around like that. You'd probably get 2 to 3... Actually, probably get 4. Probably get 4 volleys. 72% heat. 187. And shut down. Fine rating 5. Actually, that would come very close to maxing out the heat load on a single shot, just on the Alpha Strike heat generation. Yeah, I might need to downgrade the large lasers. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I'm not actually going to use it. Downgrade those. And where did I leave those double heat sinks? Did I leave another one in here somewhere? How's that? Heat sinks 84, 86, 110. Yeah, that's alright. So yeah, even on a in a bad conditions now, that wouldn't overheat. And then we can, if we really wanted to, I would never put double heat sinks in the arms. Ever, under any circumstances. But you can just start tossing single heat sinks at it until you hit 100 tons. And there you actually have better than standard heat efficiency. It sinks 100, heat sinking there is 102 heat, and an Alpha Strike is 186. So absolute worst conditions, you're not going to make any more than 84 heat on an Alpha Strike, assuming all other cooling is out of play. You're going to be able to fire everything on this thing all at once and smash something. And that configuration is going to drop a little bit of firepower, though. We go to 564, which is unfortunate. We lose a little bit, but yeah, it's just it's a beast. It's one of those mechs where you actually have trouble configuring it, not because it's got
I'll let you know when
not because it's got limitations on its tonnage, but because you have trouble finding enough to fit in. You could strip it all the way back and go 2 autocannons in it and make a monster. 3 slots, 6 heat per turn. Meanwhile, some heat sink 1 slot, 3 heat per turn. Putting in a double, use 3 heat per turn. Unless weight is a favour, then heavily on there. Is why would you plonk that in there in the first place? Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a good mech. Anyways, that's it. There's nothing else to do here at this point. We're finished. If we go back out... sorry, there is one thing left to do. Store. Okay, so now we're going to go to... Actually, let's go to buying for a second. Fire starters, locust, quick draws... No, nothing particularly interesting. Alright, let's go to sell. So now we're going to sell every single mech that isn't currently sitting in our hangar. And see exactly what we can get out to money-wise. So see exactly where we're up to. So we can get rid of the Archer. Awesome can go. Awesome can go. We'll sell both Black Knights. The Orion. The Cataphract goes. The C4 Catapult goes. Cyclops. We're going to sell 2 Highlanders. Warhammer, the spare Marauders that we've got floating around, and the Thunderbolt. So there we go. When we complete this campaign, without emptying out any of the extra items we have lighting around, which we have a lot of extra items we could sell as well. And without selling off the mechs that we're keeping in the core bay at this point in time, just short of 40 million credits, and the entire ship is completely upgraded and everything is done. So, there we go. That is the completion of Battletech. And, yeah, now we can pretty much go anywhere on the map. So now we will be able to actually cross the borders and head into the space for the various houses. We can work our reputation in these. This is the point where you can do this. Yeah, previously I've been trying to work on the reputation for the Great House factions, but you can only do it within your restricted area. But now it's wherever you want to go. So, anyways, that's it. What time is it? 1:19. Yeah, we might just call the stream here, guys, because there's not much else to do at this point. Next time Battletech comes up, obviously I'll be getting the two streams from today up onto the YouTube channel, and the next time Battletech comes up from here, we'll be starting an entirely new campaign, but this time it'll be completely in free roam, and it'll be under the mod, and we'll be playing through to 3057. So we'll be watching the entire invasion of the Inner Sphere by the clans, but we'll be starting in 3025. So we're going to be playing through a fairly large period of time, building up a nice lance, and we will have access to all of the expansion pack mechs that you can't get for various reasons inside of the inside of the main campaign, as well as all of the mechs the mod comes with. So we're going to have a lot of new toys to play with, a lot of new weapon systems to play with, and a lot of just general mission types to play with as well. The mechanics, this should be interesting. I haven't played these mods before. I've done my research on them. I know the ones that I want to play, but I haven't played them directly. Some of them do change the game mechanics a little bit. So while I know all the mechanics that are in the game now, when we get into the mods, some of them are going to shift. So on top of having an entirely new game situation to play through, I'm going to have to do a little bit of on-the-fly relearning as well, just to work out what's changed and what's been tweaked, which I actually kind of enjoy doing. I'm enjoying that with dot mod in Cold Waters at the moment, and I'm going to enjoy it here as well. But anyways, ladies and gents, hope you've enjoyed the stream, and that is the end of Battletech. Thank you very much for watching. The next Battletech stream will probably be next week, and I'll have it all modded up. So, until then, guys, take care.